I know, guys, it's been a while, but we had a little vacation. All right, I was on a little vacation. I'm on my well, not vacation, but welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's RM Korea. I know it's been a while. It's been about a week, so we're just gonna get right into today's plays. No real recap. If you have been following our Twitter, you know that it's been a little up and down for us on Twitter these past few days, but we're going back to our videos, and that's where our winning ways have been. So we're gonna hopefully kick it off today with today's slate. Here, my very very small slate for baseball today. Only 6 games, and I only like 2 of them. And here we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Wrigley Field here, and it's a popular trend to bet the over because I saw the wind blowing out. But we're gonna bet the under here between the Cubs and Pirates under 8 -125 on DraftKings here. We're back in the pitchers and we're back in the matchup here. First, we look to the Cubs and Justin Steele at home. And now this same matchup did happen not that long ago with Justin Steele against the Pirates, but that was on the road. It was a weird start. Justin Steele at home is a lot more dependable. He's a lot more of that ace Cy Young pitcher that we've seen Justin Steele, potentially be from last year's season. And I think this is where he kind of gets back into his regular form. The Pirates have a great chase rate at home in terms of swing and miss rate. So I think Justin Steele, in terms of maybe his K prop, is a great look. I think it's maybe around 5.5 or something like that. And then we look at the other side for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They do got Jerry Jones on the mound, and I'd say he's probably one of the younger stars outside of Paul Skeens, obviously, that has kind of emerged as from this Pirates rotation as one of the better pitchers in terms of consistency from their younger guys. He has a 2.32 ERA, 2.32 ERA. I think his expected ERA is somewhere around 3. We look at his stats and who he's faced. He's faced some pretty decent lineups, but obviously this is the Chicago Cubs lineup. And even though I feel, they are obviously, they have all the talent there, they're coming off a series where they just used a lot of their bats in Atlanta. And that's obviously a tough team to play with whoever the pitching matchup is. And I think, in this kind of relaxed spot, they're traveling back, first game under the belt. I think their bats are going to be a little bit slow today. And that's why I'm kind of backing this under here. My lean would be the Cubs just straight up on the money line, but I kind of want to target. I didn't really want to fade Jerry Jones because he is a pretty decent pitcher in his respect. So I'm just going to target the under here at under 8, especially for that push potential. We're getting that at -125. If both teams score 4, we get our money back. But hopefully, I think this is going to be a really low scoring game, even with the win and all the trajectory saying that this game is going to go over. I think Justin Steele at home is definitely one of the more consistent pitchers for this Cubs team, along with Imanaga, and then for Jerry Jones on the other side. I think with a Cubs team that just like I said, used all their bats in Atlanta and coming back home, maybe a little more relaxed. Their bats aren't really awake yet. I still think that Jerry Jones hopefully can do not have too much damage to where there's 6-7 runs coming to the Cubs' way. So I think this under is a great look here at -125. We're just going to be taking 2 teams to really kind of struggle offensively today. Pirates, obviously, with their chase rate in terms of swing and miss, one of the highest in baseball. And then the Cubs, obviously, using all their bats in Atlanta. I think they come back and, a little bit of a struggle fest to really kind of get anything going in terms of their bats today. So that's my one pick for that game, Pirates Cubs under 8. My other lean would be the Cubs right up on the money line. I do have Justin Steele at home, but I just kind of like this under here. We're getting that push potential again once at -125. I think it's a great price there. And then we're going to go. I've been backing this team almost every game this series, but I just keep backing the Red Sox because it's a great look. So we're going to go with the Red Sox again here today. If you saw it on Twitter, I think 2 days ago I had the Red Sox, and then the next day I had the Red Sox. Yesterday I didn't give it out, but I also had the Red Sox, and today I also have the Red Sox. So I've taken the Red Sox in all 4 games of the series. I know I'm fading Tampa Bay, but we're fading the pitchers, and it's Aaron Savale Day. That guy stinks. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that guy sucks. He's not good. I think this is gonna be the game where the bats for pretty much all of Boston come out. We look at the other side for Boston. They do got Cooper Criswell, and I'm not really too concerned on that side. All of these games have been really, really close. That's why all of these lines for this whole series have been pretty much a pick 'em between the Rays and Red Sox. I don't think a line has been ever greater than -135 on either side. So I think the Red Sox do get this last game here. All these games have been 1-run games in terms of, I think both yesterday and the day before. Red Sox got the win the day before. They did not get the win yesterday. They're looking for the series win today at home. They do have the better pitching matchup. Aaron Savali out on the road is not the greatest pitcher. He doesn't have the greatest splits against this Red Sox lineup. And I think even though I do try to stay away from these 4-game series enders because they usually don't like to trot out their best lineups, I'm just taking the fact that the Red Sox, the better team at home, they do have the better pitching matchup, and the fact that Aaron Savali, he is not a great pitcher on the road, and if it's away from the Trop, he is not that good. So I'm just going to take the Red Sox to win this final game here. We're getting them at pretty much a pick 'em at -112. Even with Cooper Criswell on the mound, who honestly is not even that bad. He has a 1.76 ERA. His expected ERA a little bit higher. It's because he's facing not the greatest lineups, but we look at the Rays lineup, and the Rays lineup has been hit or miss pretty much all season in terms of how consistent they are. Obviously, Randy Arozarena, one of the bigger names that has kind of been struggling to kind of get back to his usual form for the Rays. So maybe his struggles continue today. I like the Red Sox to finish this series off and them at -112. I think that's a good price right there. So those are my 2 picks today, and a small slate for baseball. Just the Pirates and Cubs to go under, backing 2 good pitchers in Wrigley Field. Even though the wind is saying go over, I'm taking the under. And then going to the Red Sox and up in Fenway on the money line, just taking the better team at home. Aaron Savali sucks. He's not good on the road, and I love backing the Red Sox in this final game, especially after they just lost yesterday in a game where they had the lead. So I always like to back a team. If they lost a game in a fashion where they easily could have won, I love backing them the next day. That's kind of how baseball works. If they lose the day before, take them the next day. So Red Sox lost in heartbreaking fashion like yesterday. Backing them today. Love that play for us. Those are my 2 plays for you. Ari, what have you cooked up for this Thursday?
Yeah, I have one MLB, one NBA. The MLB kind of backs up your play in a way, just going straight to the first inning. No, I usually don't take nerfies that are more than like -125, but this is the one like before I looked at the odds, I thought that would be like -160 or like -170, like one of those super juiced. So just seeing at -135 each one, I usually don't take nerfies that juice, but like I said, I see value in it because I thought it would be like at least -150 at the very lowest. So I think that this is worth it. Like you said, still got crushed by the Pirates in his last start, but I still trust him overall. It's the second start, off injury, and like you said, he's better. I think this is in Wrigley, like you said. So yeah, it's better at home. And then Jared Jones has been probably one of the best young pitchers, if not the best young pitcher in the MLB so far this season. This is mostly just a value play for me at the odds where it is compared to where I thought it would be before I looked at the board. Obviously, I feel like this year more than most I've seen Nerfies change the most odds wise. So it's possible by first pitch that this is like -150 or something by first pitch, but right now it's -135 as of 10:17 Pacific time to this morning. So obviously it could change still if more people bet. Obviously, the more money is bet on the Nerfy, the more the odds will change, and we still have whatever like 5-6 hours until the first pitch. So it could change, but at this value, I like that. And then going to the NBA, we weren't recording, but on Twitter, I was in the Knicks first half when they returned home in Game 5. Now we have Minnesota returning home. This has been, the weirdest series ever. Minnesota wins the first 2 in Denver. Everyone's appointing them the NBA champions, whatever. Ants next, Michael Jordan, blah, blah, blah. And then Denver rips off 3 straight wins, none of which were really close. And I guess Game 4 was pretty close. I think it was like an 8-point game when Edwards dropped like 44, but the 3 and 5 weren't very close. I kind of lean towards Minnesota winning this game, fortunately Game 7, but I'm more confident of just them. Just like I said with the Knicks getting off to a strong start in the first half at home and being up by at least 2 at half. I kind of like Ant's points. I think it's 29.5. He dropped 44 their last home game in Game 4. But yeah, just going with the Timberwolves first half spread -1.5. Cubs, Pirates, Nerfy, and then one other play I didn't put down, but I just wanted to mention it. College baseball, Arizona tonight, facing Oregon State. The starter for Oregon State transferred from Arizona this past offseason from last year. And I think Arizona's going to be really motivated. They just need to win one game this weekend to clinch for the regular season Pac-12 championship, or his first place in the regular season. And Arizona's at home plus 100. So I'm not putting it down as like an official play, but I'm probably going to put a little bit on that. Just it's kind of more of a narrative play. Like I said, the Oregon State starter transfer from Arizona. And he's been really good. He I think his last 3 starts he's gotten 20 in the third, no runs. In his last 3 starts, his ERA is like 2.3. The starter for Arizona has been a little bit off the past 2 starts, but he still has an ERA at like 3, so he's still been really good overall in the season. So just thought I'd bring that up. But my 2 official plays for us are Cubs, Pirates, Nerfy, and then Wolves first half spread.
I mean, look, I can always back the Nerfy, especially when I'm on the under there. Talk about Jared Jones being one of the better pitchers for the young pitchers in baseball. I definitely agree with that. I second the fact, Justin Steele better at home. I think that Nerfy is probably going to be juiced by the time, first pitch comes. But, obviously get it while you can when there's value. And we always love taking things at great value. And so minus 135, I think that's a great price for that Nerfy as well. Then the Timberwolves, obviously, you mentioned a similar play to our Twitter play that you had with the Knicks first half, pretty much money line, because that line went all the way down to, I think, half. Knicks first half minus half. So just taking them on the money line was pretty much your best bet there. But taking the Timberwolves first half minus 1.5, just taking them to get out to a good first half lead, kind of your system, getting it out of the first half, as we like to go back all the way with, whether it was college basketball or NBA as well. Going back to a similar play there. You mentioned this series has been excuse me, one of the weirdest series. You obviously with Anthony Edwards getting a 2-0 lead after getting the first 2 in Denver, and everyone saying, "Oh, or is Denver done?" And obviously you mentioned Denver wins 3 straight, and then everyone says, "Oh, well, what happened to the defense for the Timberwolves?" And all, and it's just the narrative shifts almost every 2 seconds with this series. But now obviously it's a winner go home situation, for Anthony Edwards. And it's kind of funny, obviously, it's the same situation he was in last year. Winner go home. Obviously, last year it was in Denver. This year it's at home in Minnesota. And I do like the Timberwolves just get out to a first half lead. You mentioned Anthony Edwards' points at 29.5. I think that's a good look as well for a player prop out there for those who do like the player props. You mentioned he dropped 44 in that game 4. Obviously, we talk about how he's been crowned the next Michael Jordan, even though he hates those comparisons. You just see it. You see the Kobe comparisons, you see the MJ comparisons. Anthony Edwards is becoming his own player, and I think we really will see what he is made of tonight in this game 6. With all the expectations and the hoopla around him. But also, I do love your college baseball play with an Arizona money line play, potentially at even money. A narrative story I can always get behind. I always love getting behind a narrative bet. And also speaking of college baseball, we're probably going to get into some college baseball bets, as we get closer to regionals and, the road to Omaha getting closer and closer. So for all you college baseball fans out there, peep that. We will have some college baseball best bets. Wow, that is definitely a tongue twister coming out in the future. But for today, that's Ari's official card with the Cubs and Pirates Nerfy. Like Ari said, if that does get a little too juiced, obviously watch out. But, there's great value right there at minus 135. And then the Timberwolves first half spread at minus 1.5. Going back to my 2 plays, kind of backing Ari with the Nerfy there. The Cubs and Pirates going full game under 8. I even said the bullpens. I know the Cubs and Pirates bullpens are a little shaky, but I'm still backing the bullpens. And then the Red Sox on the money line, taking a better team at home. That's my card. That was Ari's card. Obviously, you can find all of these plays and this video on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. That is where this full card and video will be posted momentarily. But that is going to do it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Like I said, don't forget we got college baseball coming up soon. Obviously, MLB continuing throughout the season. And I know, Ari, we're getting near the end of the NBA season, so it's getting toward that time. WNBA season, woohoo! Yeah, we got some Caitlin Clark player props on the way, people. But that's Ari. I'm Korea. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys tomorrow.